The title of this podcast is Do you know what's worse than having one problem? Having two. And this is inspired by Mickey Singer. I was listening to one of his podcasts, and he just kind of like said this as he was telling another story. And I was like, it stuck with me. And I think about that during some of the challenges that I've experienced over the last few years is that I was keenly aware that I didn't want a second problem, or that if I was at bottom in my life, I understood that there were several other bottoms under that I didn't want to experience. And so I was like, if you heard me say this before, is that I'm committed to not suffering unnecessarily. And normally the unnecessary suffering happens when I am doing it to myself. So a couple of examples of having more than one problem, or choosing, even if it's unconscious, to have more than one problem, was when I came out to Arizona by way of the Marine Corps, an involuntary move because I wanted to be stationed in Tennessee, where I'm from. I was going to Yuma, which I'd already defined as a problem. But the second problem was me saying I don't want to be here, although I'm there. So that was the second problem, the resistance to the first problem. And so that caused 4 years of suffering. Fast forward more recently, after doing the practice, I learned how not to make a second problem or a third. And that was when I was at Mayo Clinic, and I was working as a contract employee, loving what I was doing there. And I was asked to, I was told that I needed to cease working there because of the pandemic, which I completely understand. And when they let me go, my response was, can I volunteer? And what I was clear about is that the first problem, if it was a problem at all, was that I no longer had a job and I didn't know how I was going to pay my bills. That was one problem. The second problem could have been me on the phone arguing with Mayo Clinic about why they letting the wellness guy go in this moment when we already have burnout and we have the uncertainty of a pandemic. Like, why would you let the wellness guy go? The one thing you want is somebody who is peaceful doing this. But if I would have responded like that, would I have been the right person for that job if I wasn't peaceful and them laying out this change that they had to regrettably let go of contract employees? My response or my reaction wasn't peaceful. So why do you still want me to be helping employees be peaceful if I'm not demonstrating peace, right? Makes no sense. But that's an example of I had one problem or challenge and I didn't create a second one. So that is just really, really telling to me, if there's drama outside in the world, why do I want drama inside? And right now, there is a ton of what it looks to be a lot of dissension, a lot of polarization. That's on the outside of the world. And I can deal with that. But first, I need to be peaceful on the inside. So why do I want to create drama on the inside? And watching news 24/7 is certainly not a way to dampen the drama. It actually, for me, when I've done that, it increases the drama, the feeling unsettled inside. And I want to be settled inside as I go about the business of, if I feel like I need to, of addressing the challenges or the drama outside. I need to be peaceful first. So that means not creating a second problem. So if the pandemic or anything like that goes wrong, I mean, if the pandemic happens, if there's a situation regarding the economy, you name it, why would I add a second problem to that problem? I know there are people right now who are upset about maybe the economy, inflation, or the stock market. And you can be upset about, I mean, you that's the reality of what's going on. You choosing to be upset about it, that's causing internal drama inside. Now, you may not prefer it, but once you accept it, you can say, okay, what I need to do in the face of the economy falling or in the face of this. And then that's a different conversation that doesn't increase or create a second problem. The wise person doesn't do that. So if I lose my job is lost. What would be a second problem? Again, the second problem will be obsessing, thinking about it, complaining, anxiousness over the problems gives me a second problem. But instead, I can work on myself so I can handle those things. So when something comes up, I can choose this moment with this one problem, not two, but with this one problem, to see it as an opportunity to grow, see it as an opportunity to exercise my ability to be calm in the face of those things. So I invite you that if you're dealing with something right now, don't make it worse by creating a second problem on top of that. And that is your inner state related to the problem.